Hello! Welcome, my beautiful babies. Hi, all of you, my beautiful sweet babies. Hopefully, y'all have changed diapers. No, welcome into another
You're
episode
the one that does that.
Real Friends of Football. Your host, Miles Thomas, and your other host, Hack. How was your day, Matthew?
It was good.
Did you have dinner by chance already?
I did have dinner. My wife made my dinner. She cleaned up after.
Let's go, man. Hack just told me that wonderful news about 10 minutes ago, and I just love to see my boys winning. That's all it is at the end of the day. He's got a wife, he's got a kid, she's cooking, he's cleaning. It's all good love. So what we're gonna do today, guys, we're gonna go over. Hack has his top 10. I got my top 10 power rankings NFL teams. He's gonna explain his list. I'm gonna explain mine. Hope give you guys a better depiction of what we're discussing, how we're gonna go about things, and then we're gonna get into our favorite trap game. So a game where you see the eyes, the masses going to, hey, this is a lock for this. Are they called overdogs? Over cats? As opposed to underdogs? What would you call the team that's going to win?
They're just the favorites.
We got to do something about that. And then we're going to go over our most hype game. So the game that we're probably the most excited for. And then we're going to go over top 3 spreads, top 3 player props. Please go to the RFF Picks channel as well. That's where we're going to go over more betting stuff. But let's kick things off. Matthew, do you mind giving us your top 10 power rankings? Give me 10 to 5 at the jump, and then we'll get there.
You mean, should I go 10 to 6 and then we save the top 5?
You knew what I meant.
Okay.
You knew what I meant. It's that shit, dude. Okay. It's that shit.
I just clarifying. I was just making sure. All right. All right, number 10, I have the Eagles. And I'll kind of explain, I guess, my...
Explain it first.
Yeah, my thought process here, as a Cowboys fan, is what?
Good to mention you're a Cowboys fan.
Yeah. Is who do I not want the Cowboys to play? Like who am I most scared of playing? I think is the order I go in.
Okay.
Probably, certainly makes it a little bit of a biased list, but so, everybody's list is biased for one reason or another. So I have 10 Eagles, I have 9 Cowboys. So then from this point on, I think all of these teams are like for sure better than the Cowboys.
Okay.
I have 8 Bills, 7 Ravens, 6 Texans.
Okay.
And I know I did something big there with putting the Texans above both of them.
One more time. 10 to 6 again?
So, Eagles 10, Cowboys 9, Bills 8, Ravens 7, Texans 6.
Okay. With the Bills. This is a team that you wouldn't be? That you would be afraid to play
I think they should beat the Cowboys if they played, yes.
Okay. I think I disagree. Didn't y'all play last year?
I believe so.
I think y'all did. I could have
sworn pull up
y'all might have
last year.
Not saying it won't. I'm not saying it's gonna happen this year, but
we lost 31-10.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Okay, let me give you mine. And what I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen, and the way you did it, I think is kind of like probably the best way to honestly put it. My list, though, it's pretty much, long story short, teams that are going to have great regular seasons. So teams that I can say it's going to be damn near impossible for these guys to, I guess, make me look dumb in the idea like they're going to have a good season. First team.
So this is your number 10.
This is my number 10, sorry.
Okay.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Making sure I don't have more than 10. That's all I'm doing right here. First team is going to be the...
Oh God.
It's not even bad. It really isn't. But it's gonna get crazy kind of quick. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 10.
Hey.
Rams at 9.
Okay.
Bengals at 8. Texans at 7. Eagles at 6.
Okay. I mean, you're just gonna have to talk about the Bucks.
Okay. And so the way I still see things, it's like, and then there's going to be teams ahead of them that of course are going to be better, but the Bucks, the only opponent that they really, I feel, in my personal opinion, have to worry about are going to be the Falcons. Did you have the Falcons in your top 10?
No.
Okay. So
they were one that I considered.
Right. And I think that the Buccaneers are just going to be able to win a lot of regular season games. And they're going to be able to possibly do a 4-2, 3-3. I think the Saints are going to end up being last in that division. That's my opinion. So if they sweep the Saints, split with the Panthers, even split with the Falcons, that's a 4-win burger right there. A lot of the teams that I have in my top 10 have terrible divisions and or they compete very well against other people that aren't in their division and or conference. And I just think the Bucks haven't shown me anything in the offseason that they're going to be worse than a playoff team that won the division. I just think they have a new person to worry about in the Atlanta Falcons. With the Rams, I've already told you that this is a team that I think is going to win the division. Although I do like them more as like a postseason team than a regular season team. I think they're going to beat a lot of teams that we are going to say like these guys are good, and then they're going to have these weird games with teams that are bad. That it's going to be close wins, and so that's what's going to bring that power rankings down for them. Although I think they're going to win a lot of games. Bengals, they're going to start slow. I'm not going to trick myself into thinking all of a sudden they're going to figure it out and start out hot. They always start with the 0-1, 0-2, 1-3, some disgusting, embarrassing record to start the season. Texans, I think they're going to be really good, but I think they're going to go through that possible Bengals slump, start slower. And then the Eagles, it's really their division. I just think they're going to be able to really get a lot of wins out of it. So those who I have for my first bottom 5 teams. Now give me your 5-1.
All right. Number 5 is the Jets. Number 4 is Lions. Number 3 is Bengals. Number 2 is Niners. And then number 1 is Chiefs.
Okay.
So Jets, Lions, Bengals, 49ers, Chiefs.
Okay. Jets.
Yeah.
Is this a team that you think can make a legit run to the, top 5? That means you think in the Jets they're going to win the division. Is that where you have them at right now? And then also, they're probably gonna. Depending on how well they do, I think the Bills always host their first game. So if they win the division, depending on the record, they're gonna host a game. So you see them doing a legit run.
Yeah. So the way I view the Jets, and you brought this up the last time we talked last week about people always thought if Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy, and we had this conversation of like, what's the point of throwing that caveat in there?
Yeah.
If the starting quarterback stays healthy, of course they'll do well. Or like if he doesn't stay healthy, then yeah, of course they're not going to do as good with the backup quarterback that has never proven himself to be good.
Yeah.
So like that switch up for me was pretty big, but then it took me a while. Like I just hate when everyone jumps on something. I like want to be the devil's advocate. Like I just want to take the complete opposite approach in opinion. But the more I think about it, like, yeah, why wouldn't this team work? like, yes, Aaron Rodgers hasn't really played in 2 years, but has he really showed us that his actual quarterback play is really any worse? And we can talk about all of the off-field things, but he's had all of the off-field things his whole career. I mean, he's even had on-field things with his receivers and how he talks to to receivers when they drop the ball or when linemen miss assignments, and like maybe he can be rude or whatever you want to say. Um, but that's been the case his whole career, and all he's shown is that he just balls out. And when you have Garrett Wilson as your main threat that you're throwing to, I don't really see how that's not a team to worry about. Especially with a good offense overall, with a good defense. Like, there's really nothing I see as like a huge glaring weakness in this team.
And the huge glaring of weakness in the team is the quarterback.
Yeah.
Where it's like, and to kind of just really reiterate what I did say, it's like, if you know the biggest issue is the quarterback, and that being, his health is the concern, like, I mean, maybe the Aaron Rodgers notion, it's not if he's going to be healthy, but is this magical 40-year-old automatically going to just be bad at football? I think that's where it kind of really stems from, is like, all of a sudden, to your point, like the last time we saw Aaron Rodgers in a full season, a Packers season, it's escaping me. I guess they didn't make the playoffs that year. His last season in Green Bay, maybe not. I can't really think, but I do remember he was electrifying. I do remember when he made that transition from the Packers to the Jets. I think he was at low single digit interceptions for that season. High touchdown. Do you have the stats? Do you see it by chance?
No, I thought I did, and then it.
Okay. I mean, anyways, like, yeah, no, 100%. I'm right there with you. It's like, if you have the balls or the audacity to say, well, if this quarterback is healthy, or if this quarterback can get to where he was in this point in time 2 years ago, if he can do that, then yeah, they'll be great. Stay on that. That's my whole thing. Like, stay there. You continue. It's like having a girlfriend, getting into a relationship and be like, if she does this, if she does that, if she does this, then I'll be. No, you have the good. You pick the girl. She's good for you. Like, if you haven't vetted her out prior, that's your problem. Like, that's your issue. But if the girl's on your team and you are looking to have a successful relationship, you've already done everything that you could do. So, I mean, are you really going to go into a relationship being like, well, if she does this, I'm out. Like, I'm done. I'm gonzo. No, you should have already laid the foundation. I think the Jets have laid their foundation. Last year was such a tough year for them, to where they found out, okay, we're going to be a running team and we're going to play defense. We just need a guy that consistently can take the ball from point A to point B. They got Aaron Rodgers to do that job. Aaron Rodgers has never had that task to just put the ball from point A to point B. That's never been his agenda. He's always had to have been Superman. He's always had to have put on his cape. He's always had to have find Devontae Adams, because that's the guy that they got. Of course, they've had seasons with Jordy and Randall Cobb, but the at the end of his time in Green Bay, it was, where's Devontae? Where's Devontae? And I'm not trying to throw shade on Aaron Jones at all, but the foundation was, where's Devontae Adams? And so I think we're unfortunately putting parameters on Aaron Rodgers that he's not even going to have in New York. He's always had a top 10 wide receiver. He still does with Garrett Wilson. He's had defenses when he went to the Super Bowl and won it. That defense was lit. That was Clay Matthews type of energy we're talking about. I believe that's when Charles Woodson was in Green Bay as well. Like, they had dudes on that defense. And so, I mean, in the thick of things, if you just take it for what it is, you don't try to laminate it, and like you even more beautifully said, taking his off the field stuff and trying to implement that into football, it's just you're just gonna look silly. And the reason why, and you put them in your top 10, I did not. But it's gonna be so good to see media and see people all of a sudden saying, "Oh, the Jets are good," when it's like, dude, they have Aaron Rodgers. Like, and
Yeah.
the game plan is changed for him. How do you not see this? And that's just where my brain goes with that.
In 2022, so his last season with the Packers was his worst in a while. But if
Okay.
you remember, that team was also the worst just overall Packers team that they've had
Yeah. Okay.
under Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Um, and there was a ton of issues with young receivers and trying to get them up to speed, and they weren't playing that good. And I think they picked it up towards the end of that season. He did throw 12 interceptions,
Okay.
so he did throw double digit.
Yeah.
But prior to that, the next, or like if you go back, you have to go over a decade to 2010 for the next time that he threw double digit interceptions.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he went all of 2011 to 2021 throwing single digit interceptions.
A decade.
For over a decade throwing single digit interceptions and really not even coming that close. I mean, there's one year he threw for 2, 4, 5, 4, like 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, yeah. And I can only really truly make an assumption that, like you said, like that young receiver core at the end, where it's like, hey, let's just stack on Devontae Adams all day. He's gonna force feed Devontae Adams. That probably has to do with a lot of interceptions that he had. And then him having to work out kinks with younger receivers. And so I'm right there with you. Now let me get to my 5 through 1. Number 5, Dallas Cowboys. Number 4, San Francisco 49ers. Number 3, the Atlanta Falcons. Number 2, the Detroit Lions. And then number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. Off rip, probably people are going to see Atlanta Falcons number 3. That's crazy. Gotcha. I'm here for it. Let me do my Donald Trump real quick. Let me ask you this hypothetical and try to just see, I mean, the best you can do with it in real time. If Kirk Cousins was still on the Vikings, A, where do you think the hype would be? And then B, where would they be on the outskirts of your top 10, or would they be in the very bottom? Where would you think the Vikings would be if Kirk Cousins was still there?
So I don't know if this is the answer you were looking for. If I had to guess, it's probably not. But let me explain. I don't think that people would be all that high on the Vikings. But the only reason I don't think people would be high on the Vikings is they kind of just get tired of the conversation.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, all of a sudden, like, Kirk Cousins has been a meme quarterback in the NFL for a long time. I'm going to say for whatever reason, but we know why. And primetime Kirk and all these things. And yet, all of a sudden, he goes to the Falcons and they're getting a ton of hype. Like, why has the media switched up on Kirk Cousins all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Why is the narrative around Kirk Cousins that he can potentially carry them into the postseason, into a division title? Like, why is the narrative so different? It's because in reality, we actually know that Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback in the NFL.
Yes. And to even more beautifully, I think that was the best way to kind of say it. Like, he's a meme. You like that? You know, all the the chains, like, he's a good boy, like, we know where he stands on Jesus, like, he's there. And it's and the reason why I have the Atlanta Falcons in not top 10 but top 3 teams, just like the Buccaneers, I think they're going to have very good, runs in their own division. And then also, this is a damn near new team. Like, really. And the games that they were so close in, and the Falcons and the Jets, I'm not saying they're the same, but damn it, it's damn near the same. All you need is a quarterback to put the ball from point A to point B. You have Drake London, who a lot of people love and a lot of people see a lot of potential in. Kyle Pitts, I've voiced my opinions on him so many times that I don't care what people say. He is a top 5 tight end. Ever since he stepped into the league, he was a top 5 tight end. Don't care. And then Darnell Mooney, who I think is a really good wide receiver. And then we get to see what Bijan can make of this entire NFL in his year 2, to where once again Kirk Cousins is the NFL in history. Kirk Cousins is there could be a documentary on a quarterback who had the best career in NFL history that never won a Super Bowl. Like he could, like, from monies, like he was the first bad quarterback that was getting paid like $20 million per year off of franchise tag. Those freaking years when he was with the Redskins, that was their name. It is what it is. When he was with the Redskins, he had 3 franchise tags in a row. And each of those 3, he was like a top 5 paid quarterback each time. And then you have teams that overpaid for him. When he went to Minnesota, he was a top quarterback. And then he went to Atlanta, he got a bag as well. So it's just this never-ending cycle of him, to your point, like GMs and the NFL executives know and understand this guy is a baller, but he just has that meme pedigree to him. That's why if you remove names of the Atlanta Falcons offense, and let's say you just saw ratings only, this is a legit team. And they already had Jesse Bates as a safety. They bring in Justin Simmons to be a part of the safety tandem, which is something you literally could only do in Madden. You could literally only make that trade in Madden to have Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons as your safety. And then you have AJ Terrell, who just got paid. Let's see what he does now on a comfortable contract extension. You now have Matthew Judon that they brought in to bring in legit pass rush that they have been missing for as long as we have known the Falcons. Like, even when they were in the Super Bowl and Vic Beasley was supposed to be the dude for the upcoming future, it didn't work out that way. Matthew Judon, he's not going to fall off the face of the earth. And you still have Grady Jarrett in the middle. This team is stacked. It's so stacked to where they just need a quarterback. Hey, can you put the ball from point A to point B? Because the last guy in Desmond Ridder, he literally could not do that. But yet we were so close in so many games. We lost so many close games, and we won close games too. Let's just bring in a guy that can facilitate the offense, that just can play point guard, can just put the ball from point A to point B, and I think that's what Kirk Cousins does beautifully. And I just think at some point in time, the Falcons are going to get this rush of media hype because they're going to start winning successfully. And I just think they're going to be seen. And once again, to reiterate, this is regular season, the team that I put up. So last time, I don't know if you have any more questions, run through your 10-1 all together, and then I'll do the same and we'll move on.
Okay, so starting at 10, Eagles, Cowboys at 9, Bills at 8, Ravens at 7, Texans at 6, Jets at 5, Lions at 4, Bengals at 3, 49ers at 2, Chiefs at 1.
And I have Bucks at 10, Rams at 9, Bengals at 8, 7 is Texans, 6 is Eagles, 5 Cowboys, 4 49ers, 3 the Atlanta Falcons, Lions at 2, and the defending champions, Kansas City Chiefs at the 1 spot. That's what I have. Let's push forward. What do you have for... What do you want to do, most hype game first or the trap game?
I say the trap game.
Okay. What do you have for your trap game? Now I'll explain this better. So what's the game that we're not looking at? What's the game that we're not eyeing? Whether it is they win or they make it a close game. What's the game that we're not paying attention to that he's like, hey, these guys are good. These other dudes are probably going to win.
So I have a few. My top one is Washington at Bucks.
Okay. Yeah.
I think the Bucks are favored. Let me see. They're favored 3.5. It's at home for Tampa. And I just think Jaden Daniels is getting he's looked so good preseason and just training camp and practice and all this stuff. And so I'm kind of looking at as much improvement as the Commanders have had with their picks and just with development and all these things. They feel really good about where they're at. And I think they still feel very disrespected. And so I think this is a opportunity for them to come out and like really set the tone for the season
Mm-hmm.
and shock the NFL and say like we're here not just to show that we've improved, but to show that we're here to compete for the division.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Um, I'm really excited for mine. Can I say mine real quick?
Yeah,
I got two, but
yeah,
this
yeah. Well, yeah. Do your two or whatever, just your favorite.
my favorite one, dude, and I think this is gonna. I'm scared of this one because I think it's gonna get me too hype, too quick.
Okay.
It's the Titans going to Chicago and beating them. It's the
Okay.
Titans going to Chicago and like 27-17 beat them. Like something that and they're playing the Bears. The Bears have a 4-point spread right now. And we've discussed this already. And we've seen it in college. Running the ball, playing good defense. Running the ball, playing good defense. We definitely do, and I think it makes sense. We put so much on the quarterback position. The quarterback does not look right to us. We're out. We're out. And I think that's where we're at with the Titans. I think that's their really only true blemish. They do have a new head coach in Brian Callahan. Offensive minded type of dude though. But if we slow things down and we make things what they are, these are all guys are still pros. These are top of the top best in the world at this game called football. All the Titans have to do is offensively run the ball, ink the clock out, make the Bears feel like they need to pass the ball, put Caleb Williams in uncomfortable situations. In week 1, I don't think Caleb's going to be necessarily nervous. He will. I know he says he has a beautiful quote of like, I never get nervous. I don't get nervous, blah, blah, blah. But I think the NFL is going to shake him just a little bit. A little bit. And I'm not saying that the Titans are going to, I am saying it. Titans are going to win, bro. I just feel it. Titans are going to have this game, and it's going to be a shock. I think it's going to shock a lot of people to see the Titans look together. I mean, their game plan is not going to be horrendous. Run the ball, and to even like better put it, we don't know what their identity is going to be. For, like, really, are we going to see Will Levis run the ball a little bit more too? Is it going to be just like take it to college? But then also, we don't even know the role for Will Levis. We don't even know how they're going to make the game plan easy for him. And Brian Callahan had a lot to do with that Jake Browning stretch last year when Joe Burrow was out. Like, and so I don't know what people thought about Jake Browning before he got that starting position, but after, I think there's a lot of positive eyes on Jake Browning. And I think he could do some of that with Will Levis. I do, personally.
Yeah. I mean, last time we talked, I like the Titans to kind of be a sneaky dark horse for the division, so I wouldn't have picked that myself, but I like it.
And then the next one,
Yeah, what's your other?
the other one I had, it's going to go into my favorite spread, but I think the Cardinals are. I think the Cardinals, they're so bad defensively.
Yeah.
I just think that their offense though has an opportunity to just look to. Their offense can do Golden State Warriors shit to where the power of the offense is so damaging that it can help the defense. It could, like, all you need is a couple of punts. That's all you need from the defense is a couple of punts. Get Josh Allen to play some hero ball and just get some fun interceptions. The Cardinals last year, and this just came to my mind, not trying to be a dick, but no one thought they were going to beat the Cowboys, right? Like, no one did. No one. And they did it. And I get it. That was a bad 3 weeks for you. I was going to say 1 week. That could have been a bad 3 weeks for you. But that's the same team to an extent. That's the same team that went, like, just a question. Was it in Dallas?
No.
It was in
Last
Arizona?
year, we won all our home games.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but still, I think this team has some legitimate prowess to them, and I think they're rejuvenated with both having Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler back. So I think that's another game people are. I mean, it's a 6.5 spread. So I highly doubt anyone's gonna take them to win outright, but I probably will. I probably will for sure.
Well, and to your point, that game against the Cowboys, it was a game where like what could go wrong did go wrong for us. Like literally offense, defense, special teams, everything was just horrible. But they were able to capitalize on it.
Yep.
Like when they got the ball, their offense scored. When they got the ball, they did what they needed to do. Their game plan worked. And that's not to discredit entirely everything was just because the Cowboys were falling apart. But like you said, they have an offense that, especially week one, what we've seen from the Bills historically is that they do also get off to slow starts. And so they have an offense that's going to capitalize on the inevitable Josh Allen turnovers and the inevitable mistakes, the inevitable just craziness that week one always has.
Yep.
And sloppiness that week one always has. My other one, I'll give my second favorite is Denver.
Yeah. Saw that one
is my
too.
underdog.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a 6-point underdog. And again, I don't know. It's at Seattle. I don't know if they'll be able to win outright, but golly. I mean, the Broncos.
The media would go crazy if that happened.
Yeah. The Broncos have probably been hated on the most going into this season. Like, I honestly don't know another team. Maybe the Patriots.
Giants.
I guess Giants too. Yeah. Well, when you let Saquon go to the Eagles,
bottom 5 team for sure. Yeah, bottom 5 team.
I mean,
for sure.
they're expected to be one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the league this year. Despite, and people will be like, "Oh, Bo Nix, and he's coming in as a rookie, already older," and it's like, what? How old is he? 26.
36. I don't know. He's old, man. He played a lot of college football at
Auburn
and in Oregon.
He's 24.
Okay.
I mean, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers at 40. So you're saying this guy has 16 years left in the NFL. Like, what are we talking about? He's old. He's 24 years old. Yeah. I mean, how old is Jordan Love?
I mean, it's Jaden Daniels is going to be 24 as well. It's people are picking on him.
25. I mean, it's just like, let's pick a thing that supports our narrative that we've created in our mind. Like, Jordan Love was 24 when he got his first start. So is Bo Nix. Now, sure, Jordan Love had some time in the NFL, but like, yeah, like you said, Jaden Daniels is old. Like, all of these players are older because of COVID, because of NIL. They stay longer because of the rules of just you get injured and you can get a red shirt. So I get injured 3 years and I get 3 red shirts. Like, the college rules are causing this aging to take place, and I don't think it's a bad thing. But for whatever reason, for Bo Nix, it is.
It's and Joe Burrow was a 23-year-old rookie.
Yeah.
What it is. It's like, this is the answer. This is what people do in their brains that they probably just don't know how to like articulate it. If he's 24, why didn't he get into the NFL at 22? If he's good at 20, like, why? Because in the NBA, that's the game. Like, if you're 20 years old, if you're a 20-year-old rookie in the NBA, bro, I can't help you. But if we know, because the thing is, if you're 18, you can hoop or you can't hoop. Like, either you got it or you don't. It's not really it is a developmental thing 100% in the NBA, but it's not to the same extent as it is in the NFL. Because you have to get your body ready. You have to become a grown man in the NFL. And so all it does for Bo Nix is help him. It speeds up the process. He gets it to his NFL. He's probably already at his NFL body. Probably at Oregon, he was already at his NFL body. And so all it did was probably, if you're playing college football for so long, and it's not like, and another thing is what people need to say with him being so old, is that he started every game he could. Now, it's different from a guy who's older that maybe, like, let's say Anthony Richardson was a 24-year-old dude to where he didn't start his first 3 years. Well, what's the story there? Like, that has to be something. But with Bo Nix, he started as a freshman at Auburn. Like, had his time there, things didn't go great, goes to Oregon, and a completely new environment, a completely new scheme, how more opposite can you get from Auburn to Oregon and what you're going to be doing?
Yeah.
And he did good. And so I'm right there with you. And I don't understand people. You got to put your chips where they are at, because if you want to be not stupid, I don't want to say stupid, but if you don't want to think your thoughts through and see that we had an NFL draft in 2022 or 21, whichever one it was, where we thought we knew Trevor Lawrence was going to be a great quarterback, Zach Wilson was going to be a great quarterback, Justin Fields, Mac Jones. We did the best quarterback in that draft could end up being Sam Howell at the end of it. It ended up being Brock Purdy, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, and we've talked about this. We have high praise for Spencer Rattler, being a dude in New Orleans. Bo Nix could be the guy. He could be this draft's like dude that did not look great on paper, but figures it out in the NFL and it looks great. I'm right there with you. I think we're gonna I think I'm gonna glaze the Broncos a little bit, because I have been hearing it and I think it popped a nerve just in this conversation. But yeah, I mean, and historically they've always been respected defensively and they've always been able to run the ball. It's just the quarterback play.
I think what's funny too is we get so excited about these first round quarterback picks. And granted, I know Bo Nix is not one of those, but like you already listed off some. You have Josh Rosen, another one that the Cardinals drafted. Like, is he even in the league right now? Like, he's out, I think. I don't know. But most of the time, the
Dak
top
Prescott,
quarterbacks don't work out.
Sorry.
He's a fourth rounder.
You're a fourth rounder.
I mean, Tom Brady is sixth rounder. Like, most of the guys that work out weren't first round draft picks. That's not to say there aren't incredible first round draft pick quarterbacks in the NFL that have been successful, because obviously there are. But a lot of the time, it's these third, fourth, even second, but third, fourth, fifth, sixth rounders that just get an opportunity and prove themselves.
Yeah. Or they're just better.
Brock Purdy. And sure, Brock Purdy isn't probably one of the best situations you could ever be in on a team.
Yeah.
But still, you could throw a lot of quarterbacks in there that wouldn't look like he did, that led the league in deep passes and accuracy in deep passes. And again, the narrative around him is like he's a slant merchant. Like, he just throws short and lets his team. And
really?
throws.
That's it?
Yes. The narrative is that he'll throw screens, that he throws slants, that he throws these short routes, and his receivers get the yards. Yeah, he led the NFL in deep passes.
Yeah.
So again, people pick and choose, but there you go. The Mr. Irrelevant is leading his team to a Super Bowl.
And seeing how that was literally like what Tom Brady was like known for, was dink and dunking and like short passes only.
It's absurd.
That's how Drew Brees made Michael Thomas, was by slants. So I didn't know that. I just always put it collectively that he's just not as good in total as other quarterbacks. I don't limit him as like a slant guy. I feel like he throws things actually intermediate or even close, like slow. I don't even think he's a good slant passer, but like you said,
he does not have the arm strength.
He does not have the arm strength for a slant game. So people are just talking out their ass. Favorite hype game? What's the game that you're seeing and it's like, oh? I got two.
Okay, you go first. Give me your two.
My two are, one's Thursday Night Football, man. Ravens Chiefs. Let's go, dude. What a great week one game. Last year, didn't we get boned? Wasn't it terrible that Thursday?
Thursday night was horrible.
I think it was like Broncos. It was Broncos. Like, I know they wanted Russell on that card. It was. Who was it? It was Broncos. It was Bills. No, Broncos.
Just give me the year. All right,
let's see.
NFL schedule. Week 1. Lions Chiefs.
That was a good game. I remember that game. That was the
21-20 Lions.
Okay. Yeah. I'm tripping. That was a good game. I guess we didn't know the Lions were gonna be lit. Maybe, I don't know. That was a good game. Lions won,
But like
right?
every Thursday night, yeah, by one. Every like Thursday night after that was just abysmal.
Yeah, I know the rest of the games were terrible, but yeah, Thursday night football, Ravens Chiefs, like that's gonna be such an intense game. That's gonna be an emotional game for Lamar. It always is. The Chiefs aren't gonna give a damn about that game, but they're just gonna ball. I think that's gonna be a good, fun game to watch. Derrick Henry in a Ravens jersey. What are we talking about? Once again, that's like a Madden thing. Is this defense going to be better, even though they lost their DC and the Ravens, to where are we going to see flaws in the Chiefs' offense? Would be the first time ever. Travis Kelce's getting up there, bro. Like, are we going to see the wheels really start to fall off? We'll see. And then my second game. Come on, man. What are we talking about? Hack. What's my second game, bro? It's the freaking Bengals, bro. Going to New England. We're going to put that black quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, in the ground. Yeah.
Gosh, that's thank God you're black.
What? But yeah,
Alex
no,
said that.
it's going to be fun because it's the most I'm hyped for, given if everything goes positive. We play the Chiefs week 2, so I'm just hoping that we look flawless, and I hope we don't flop in week 2, but if we just look good, because we have so many new things with our running back, Chase Brown, and blah, 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 I'm hyped for that one. I'm hyped. What do you got?
So, gosh, I'm looking at a list of 6 games, and I won't say all 6, but what I just love that there's actually solid matchups week 1.
It's crazy. They're all close.
Like, this is probably, I don't know, maybe it's just recency bias, but I've never been more hyped for a week 1 schedule.
Yeah, I agree.
I really like, well, we'll just start Cowboys Browns. I think this is going to be a very defensive game, obviously. I was listening this morning and they were talking about they think the Browns are going to win because of the defense. And like they're like, oh, the Browns will probably end the season with a top 3 defense. And I'm thinking, okay, so will the Cowboys. Like Cowboys will be a top 5.
Yeah.
Sure. Like, so we're talking top 5 versus top 3. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like that's the difference is oh, the Browns have a good defense. Have we forgotten the Cowboys have an incredible defense and are getting players back that are going to make them even better of a defense?
Yeah.
Like we're getting Diggs back, we're getting Overshown back, we're getting all these players back. Micah Parsons is another year. Like and Overshown, I know isn't like the guy. He's not a starter.
He was good though. I liked him at Texas.
I mean, he got hurt early on. He was really good at Texas, and he was balling before he got hurt early last season. And so I honestly like and we struggled with linebacker depth all season last year. And so that's a big addition to get him back. So I'm really excited to see, though, especially with Mike Zimmer, how this defense plays. And then obviously I'm just, as a Cowboys fan, I'm excited, but I'm also interested to see what we do at running back. Because I know we brought Zeke back, and I've heard a lot of chatter that Dowdle's actually going to get like a little bit more of the running game than anyone else. So I'm just interested to see how we do with that. But ultimately, I'm excited for that game and to see the Cowboys just actually hopefully play a good team well. And then my second one, we'll stick with the division. We'll go Packers Eagles. I think that should be a pretty fun game. Like I just think that one's going to be close in a very different way than the Cowboys Browns game will be close.
And like as you said it, dude, I really think I can't find one bad game. And it could be just because we're like deprived of football. That could be it. You know, maybe if this slate was actually a week 10 slate, we would think different of it. But no, man, I'm
Jets, 49ers, Rams, Lions, Texans, Colts. Those are ones I thought about. Even Jags, Dolphins.
Yes, that was one that I saw. I was like, damn. Yeah. Literally every game. That was the only game that could be a snoozer. Is if the Panthers Saints, like no one got better. And Bryce makes me look foolish. Or the Vikings Giants. Sam
Yeah.
Darnold. That it could get bad. That one could be a snoozer. But at least the committee, whoever did it, they got them to match up with each other, but them both
Yeah.
being so terrible. Okay, nice. Let's go into top three teams, right? Or top
Top
three,
three
not
spreads.
top three spreads, and then top three props, and then
Yeah.
we'll be wrapped up. Go ahead and
Yeah.
your three.
Okay. My three favorite spreads are Falcons -3.5 against the Steelers, Panthers +4 against the Saints, and then Miami -3.5 against the Jags.
Miami. Okay. And do you want to go into any of those? And
Yeah, I'll briefly go into each. Well, I'll start at the top. So Falcons -3.5. I just think the Falcons are just going to be an absolute workhorse this year. Like I just think they're going to work teams. Um, I just maybe I'm just dumb, but I really feel like this team has a chance to make a deep run in the playoffs.
okay.
And I think in order to do so, they're going to have to do well and like win the division and get good seating, get a home game. And
All that.
I
Yeah.
think they will. Like,
Yeah.
and the Steelers are still trying to figure out what they're doing with their quarterback. Maybe Tomlin knows, and that's the hard part. Is like if this was this Steelers team with any other coach, this line's probably way more than what it is. I honestly think that Mike Tomlin being the Steelers coach gives you like 3 points on your spread.
Yeah.
Like it has to because the Steelers are kind of. I mean, the old saying when you have two quarterbacks, you have none.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're going with Russ, but what does the fan base think? What do the players think? They're going to have packages for Justin Fields. Well, what if he does good in those packages? Are they going to say, well, why don't we put him in more packages? I just think there's so much that the Steelers need to figure out. What packages is Justin Fields going to be in? What is this team going to look like? What's going to be their identity? And the Falcons know what theirs is. So that's why I have them. Panthers, I just think they're going to be, and I know you agree with this, is they're going to be much better than what people think. I don't really see a way that this roster doesn't succeed. I'm not in the same way that like I think the Falcons will succeed, but
Or be better. Be better.
yeah, like I just think they'll be at least 4 wins better this year. And then Miami, I'm just not high on the Jags. I'm not high on Trevor Lawrence. I just need him to prove it to me before I ever feel good about him again. I'm not going to give him benefit of the doubt anymore. And Miami, I think, just tears up these teams in the regular season.
Yeah. And they usually are that team that does it early and often.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So my first game, probably my favorite, plus 6.5 Cardinals, going to Buffalo. This team, we talked about it last time in the Buffalo Bills. What's their identity going to be? Are they going to be a run first team? Are they going to try to show the whole, when you trade away Stephon Diggs and say, it's okay, we got it. This is an all pro receiver. This is a pro bowler. This is a guy who is heavily respected in the NFL. And you say, oh, we go away. We'll just get a rookie. They didn't know they were going to get Keon Coleman. That's number one. Like that like they went into the season without a number one wide receiver. That off rip tells me you don't know exactly what you want to do. If you are going to make a Stephon Diggs ordeal up to that like way, like I don't know, you got to get somebody in the building first that we can like see. Okay, they want to pass the ball. Oh, they're going to run. Like you got to, even if it was like a big splash play in the offensive line, they should have done that. Like go get someone that's really strong in the offensive line, and I don't think they did that to where it's like when I look at the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's back, you know they're going to throw that thing like crazy. And you have Marvin Harrison Jr., boom. Like, I'm not even saying that Keon Coleman can't be the better receiver either. That could happen 100%. Keon Coleman could be the best receiver in the draft. But I'm saying is, at least you're telling me what you're going to be. And I just feel better putting my money towards that team that can tell me off rip, yo, yeah, we want to throw the ball with Kyler Murray. We want to hand the ball off because we got this other guy, Trey Benson, in the draft, even though we had James Conner, who is a really good running back when Kyler's in the game as well. Like, and we released Kyler at the end of the season. We did not have to do that. We could have just sat him and just saved him, preserved him, but we released him at the end of last year to show y'all what we are. Like, we want to be this type of team. The defense is bad. I'm cool with that. All I need them to cover is 6.5 though. The Bills are not beating the Cardinals by more than a touchdown. What? It's just, I don't know. That one is definitely one of my favorites. And then +4 Tennessee Titans. I think them and the Bears, it could just be a one of those games. And if you take me, even though my next pick is probably going to dumb that down, but I'll explain it. But I believe AFC teams beat down NFC teams. That's just what I believe. Especially when it comes down to that, like, crossing that line and you're going to an AFC's either not necessarily a house, but if you're going to their place, I don't think location matters. I just think it's just different, especially if you get an AFC team that is known for tough games and their moniker is like running the ball and playing good defense, which is what I think the Titans embody. That's what they are. And so I just like that matchup. I think it's going to be a slow game, a low game. We might not get the first field goal into the second quarter. And so I think it's going to be one of those, and it could be 3-0 Titans in the second quarter going into halftime. That could be the halftime score. I think it'd be just one of those games. And so I like the Titans in that. And then, like I said, this next one, it might like make me hypocritical, but Dallas Cowboys ain't losing their first game. That's just how I see it. Like, they're not going to lose their first game. And the Cleveland Browns are a way easier team to beat without Nick Chubb. And I cannot stress that more. Without Nick Chubb, and the defense is lit. The defense is lit, but you explained it. So is the Cowboys defense. They're just as lit. The Browns' successes, ever since Baker was there, their only successes have been behind the helm of, yes, Baker, but Nick Chubb, and once upon a time Kareem Hunt. They have neither of them. And now they just have running backs. They don't have superheroes anymore. They don't have titans. They don't have mutants in the backfield anymore. They just have NFL running backs, human beings. That's all they have now. And so I think the Cowboys are going to be hyped up. They're going to be ready to go. I trust the Dak quarterback. This is a money line for me. And I think the Browns are -2.5 favorites.
Yeah.
This is +120 Cowboys money. And I'm not, you already know I ain't gonna say nothing to fucking make you feel better about being a Cowboys fan. You know I don't care about that. I'm just saying.
Like, all right, man.
I just had to add that in because you
didn't have to.
But this shit ain't sweet. Is all I'm trying to say. This shit ain't sweet. Okay. Lastly, real quick, let me ramble off my favorite. My freaking prize picks went away. It's fucking toxic. Go your top 3 player props real quick.
Okay. My first is Bryce Young over on passing yards. I believe, I guess it's probably different on different sports books and things like that, but 199.5 passing yards.
Okay.
So I just think they have a way more improved receiving core, as well as Jatavian Sanders. I think their running backs can even do some work out of the backfield in the passing game. So, and then Bryce Young himself, I think, is going to take a step. So I see that going up. My number 2 is Rashee Rice over on 60.5 yards, especially with Hollywood Brown not playing. So I think he's clearly the wide receiver 1. Him and Mahomes had such a good connection really throughout the whole season, but particularly down the stretch and then in the playoffs. And so I see no reason why he's not getting 80-plus yards this game. Mm-hmm. And then a sneaky kind of maybe parlay with this is a Xavier Worthy anytime touchdown. I just think you're going to have that one play where, I mean, if he makes a man miss and gets an open space, it's man to
done.
man. Like, he's done. Yeah, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So he can beat the team over the top. And there's just multiple ways that I think Worthy can score. So I would pair those together. But at least take the Rishi Rice over on yards. And then this one's psychotic. And we talked about this before. Absolutely psychotic, given the state of the Bengals right now, given the Jamar Chase,
Everything.
like not practicing, just everything surrounding that. Joe Burrow over on passing yards. This just feels like one of those things, and maybe I'm just like I'm just trying too hard, right?
Probably
Like it's
trying to tilt me. Maybe your subconscious is trying to get to me.
No, genuinely, I'm just like thinking, I'm like, what's a play that's so bad that it has to hit? And I think this is that play. Like, there's no way this actually hits, which is what makes me say that's gonna hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, and that's the game usually. Yeah, exactly to your point. All the ones, anytime we say there's no chance that's gonna, it goes. And so I hope so, but I hope it comes with the win. I don't want him to get the yards and us still lose.
Definitely I would say if you don't want to do that, take the over on T. Higgins.
Okay.
Because
which is what's it at?
I thought I put it on here. It's not crazy. I'll have to look while you're doing yours. I didn't see I wanted to do Andre, but I don't think he had one. He just has 0.5 rush or receiving touchdown.
Is it 57.5? Is that what you saw? 57.5.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 57.5.
Okay.
I go over on that, but yeah.
I like the over on that. Let's do it. I'm gonna run it up. Mine. Russell Wilson against the Atlanta Falcons. 216.5 pass and rush yards. We're going to take the over on that, ladies and gentlemen. It sounds crazy, I know. But he did that his last 5 games in the Denver Broncos. When he hit each one of the overs, and I'll ramble them off because the numbers are still impressive. Against Minnesota, 260, Houston, 230, 229, against the Chargers, Detroit 229, 256 against New England. So not only did he eclipse that border each time, it's like 216. He has to do essentially 13 yards worse than his last. And I just think Pittsburgh, it's a little bit better. Weapons. It could be a sloppy game. Maybe he'll get someone over the top. Get a big chunk of yards. He's going to run it a little bit. The only thing I'm scared about is if Justin Fields gets too much playing time, but I don't think he will. I think he'll just have a few plays. Daniel Jones, I switched it up. Daniel Jones is at 244.5 pass and rush yards. We're going to take the under. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Jones did that against the Las Vegas Raiders last year and got 34 yards. And then he did it against Miami and got 143 yards. Pass and rushing. His last 2 games have not been great. He is going against the Minnesota Vikings, who lost Danielle Hunter. But I'm going to take those odds. I'm going to take the fact that I don't believe he can throw the ball 245 yards, even if you add his rushing yards to it. I don't think he'll do it. And then the last one, this is just a heartful play, but I did get this play also through OddsJam. So that is technology that we use. And so I saw it, and Derrick Henry under rushing and receiving yards. I believe Derrick Henry, and also when I think about it, Derrick Henry really gets the bulk of his touchdowns, I feel, on like 20-yard runs or 50-yard runs or 40-yard runs. Very rarely are they like those 6-yard tough goal line type of deals. He usually gets stopped because he's scary when he's going. He's not scary before. So I don't think the Chiefs they're not the type of team, unless you're Jamar Chase and the Bengals, where you rip off something for like 60 yards or 70 yards or 40 yards on them. They're usually a really good, sound defensively type of team. And so when you also ask them to put things in a shorter yardage perspective, the Chiefs usually deliver defensively. And so that is my final play. Do you have anything left to say as we cap off? We are at, right under an hour.
No, I think it's the Cowboys' year.
Swear to God.
No, don't make me. Don't make me.
No, I don't want that for you. All right, so that is our episode. We will see y'all guys on the next one.